Hey everyone! Welcome back to your go-to channel for coin collectors, numismatics enthusiasts, and those curious about the hidden value of everyday coins. If you love coins and want to know their worth, history, and significance, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Today, we're diving into a coin that's still in circulation but often overlooked, the 2002 USA 5-cent Jefferson nickel. Could you have a valuable nickel in your pocket change? Let's find out. The Jefferson nickel has been in circulation since 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. The 2002 edition continues the classic design featuring Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. His profile faces left, with the word Liberty and the year 2002 inscribed. Flipping it over, we have Monticello, Jefferson's famous home, along with the words E pluribus unum, 5 cents, and United States of America. This design remained unchanged until 2004 when the U.S. Mint introduced the Westward Journey series that's over 1 billion coins, making this a very common circulation coin. But does that mean it's worthless? Not necessarily. Now, let's talk about the value. The 2002 Jefferson nickel is still in circulation, and in heavily worn condition, G4 to F12, it's usually worth just face value, 5 cents. However, in higher grades, -50 Australian dollars to MS63, you might start seeing some extra value. If your coin has sharp, well-defined steps on Monticello, it could be graded as a full steps nickel, making it significantly more valuable. Have been known to sell for $500 plus at auctions, so, should you start checking your spare change for a 2002 Jefferson nickel? Absolutely. While most of them are only worth 5 cents, you might find a high-grade, error, or full steps coin that could be worth much more. The Jefferson nickel has a rich history dating back to 1938, when it replaced the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, the coin features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the obverse front. The reverse side showcases Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia. By 2002, the design of the Jefferson nickel remained largely unchanged, staying true to its original look. However, this was one of the final years before a major redesign in 2004, when the U.S. Mint introduced the Westward Journey series to commemorate the 200th anniversary of the Lewis and Clark expedition. The 2002 Jefferson nickel continued the traditional 75% copper and 25% nickel composition that had been in place since 1866, except for a brief period during World War II, 1942 to 1945, when nickels contained silver to conserve nickel for military use. While the 2002 Jefferson nickel is generally considered a modern and common coin, collectors still seek high-grade examples, full steps varieties, and mint errors, which can increase their value. 1977 Jefferson nickel. Could this simple 5-cent coin be worth more than its face value? Stay tuned to find out. Before we talk about the 1977 nickel, let's take a quick look at its history. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, it features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his famous home, Monticello, on the reverse. This design remained largely unchanged until 2004, when the U.S. Mint temporarily introduced the Westward Journey series, followed by the modern Jefferson nickel in 2006. The 1977 Jefferson nickel maintains the classic design. On the obverse, we see Thomas Jefferson with the words, "In God We Trust," to the left and "Liberty," with the date 1977, to the right. On the reverse, Monticello stands proudly, with E pluribus unum above and United States of America, and 5 cents below. The 1977 nickel was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mintmark; Denver, D mintmark; and San Francisco, S mintmark for proof coins. With over 800 million business strike coins minted, this is not a rare coin in general circulation. But don't worry. There are still valuable pieces out there, and I'll tell you what to look for. If you find a 1977 nickel in your pocket change, its value in circulated condition is usually just 5 cents. However, in higher grades, it can be worth more. Let's break it down. Can be worth $10 to $100 plus depending on the percentage of the off-center strike. Some 1977 nickels have doubling on Jefferson's face or the lettering, increasing their value. These minting errors can make a coin unique and collectible, often selling for $10 to $50. So, where can you find valuable 1977 nickels? Here are some tips. Always check your loose change. You might find old rolls of nickels with uncirculated gems. Look for graded specimens from reputable sellers. A fun way to uncover hidden treasures. The 1977 Jefferson nickel is common in circulation, but high-grade specimens, errors, and proof coins can be worth much more. If you come across one in top condition, it could be a valuable find. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of U.S. coinage since 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. It was designed by Felix Schlag, who won a national competition to create the new 5-cent coin. This design remained mostly unchanged until the early 2000s, when the U.S. Mint introduced temporary changes for the Westward Journey series, 2004 to 2005, and later, a permanent redesign in 2006. The 1977 Jefferson nickel is part of the long-running series featuring the classic Jefferson portrait. By this time, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of coins annually, making these nickels common in circulation. The economy was recovering from the 1973-75 recession, and inflation was rising, but nickels remained an essential part of everyday transactions. During the 1970s, there was no significant change in the nickel's design, though minor variations and die errors continued to emerge, making some coins valuable to collectors today. The obverse, front, of the coin features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third U.S. President and author of the Declaration of Independence. The inscriptions include, E pluribus unum, Latin for, out of many, one, at the top Monticello, below the image, 5 cents, and United States of America, at the bottom. The San Francisco S mintmark version was only produced as a proof coin, meaning it was specially made for collectors with a mirror-like finish and sharp details. By 1977, the composition of the Jefferson nickel had been 75% copper and 25% nickel since its introduction in 1938, except for the wartime silver nickels, 1942 to 1945, which contained 35% silver. Since the 1977 Jefferson nickel was produced in large quantities, it remains common in circulation today. Most worn examples are only worth face value, 5 cents, but uncirculated or high-grade specimens can be worth more. Collectors typically seek out high-quality coins, MS-65 or higher, and error varieties. The original design, submitted in 1938 by Felix Schlag, had a different Monticello perspective, but the Mint requested changes to make it more recognizable. Many people believe old nickels contain silver, but only 1942 to 1945 wartime nickels had 35% silver due to metal shortages during World War II. The 1977 nickel is only copper and nickel. Off-center strikes, doubled dies, and die cracks can turn a common 1977 nickel into a collector's item worth $50 to over $1,000. The 1977 Jefferson nickel is a classic piece of U.S. coinage history. While most are only worth face value, collectors still seek out well-preserved examples, proof versions, and mint errors. If you have a 1977 nickel, check for high grades or errors. You might have a hidden treasure. The 1981 Jefferson nickel will explore its history, key design features, mint locations, mintage numbers, and most importantly, its circulated value today. So, stick around till the end. You might just have a valuable coin in your collection. The Jefferson nickel series started in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, this 5-cent coin features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third U.S. President. The reverse side showcases Monticello, Jefferson's home in Virginia. The 1981 Jefferson nickel is part of this long-running series, which is still in circulation today. It was minted just 1 year before the U.S. Mint introduced major changes to the nickel's design and coin-making process. Now, let's take a closer look at the design elements of this coin. Features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson. The inscriptions include "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year 1981 showcases Monticello, Jefferson's famous plantation home. Inscriptions include E pluribus unum, United States of America, and 5 cents. This design has been in use for decades, making the Jefferson nickel one of the longest-running U.S. coin series. The 1981 Jefferson nickel was minted at 3 different U.S. mint locations, identified by their mintmarks. As you can see, the 1981 nickel is not a rare coin since hundreds of millions were produced. However, proof coins from the San Francisco Mint are much scarcer and were only sold to collectors. Now, let's get to the part you've been waiting for, the value of the 1981 Jefferson nickel in circulation today. If you have a worn 1981 nickel, it's still only worth 5 cents. But if you have an uncirculated or high-grade coin, it could fetch a few dollars. Now, let's talk about rare errors and varieties that could make your 1981 Jefferson nickel worth even more. Some 1981 nickels show doubling on letters or numbers. These can be worth $10 to $100 plus depending on the severity. So, check your nickels carefully. A small detail could make a big difference in value. Here's the final verdict. Should you keep or spend a 1981 Jefferson nickel? Even though most 1981 nickels are only worth face value, high grade or error varieties can bring in some serious cash. That wraps up our deep dive into the 1981 Jefferson nickel. Do you have one in your collection? Have you ever found an error coin? Let me know in the comments below. The 1981 Jefferson nickel is part of the long-running Jefferson nickel series, which was first introduced in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, the Jefferson nickel has remained in circulation for over 80 years, making it one of the most recognizable coins in the United States. The Buffalo nickel, 1913 to 1938, was a popular design, but it had significant issues with wear and production. In 1938, the U.S. Mint held a design competition, and Felix Schlag's portrait of Thomas Jefferson along with an image of his home, Monticello, won the contest. The coin's design remained largely unchanged until 2004, when the Mint introduced special editions for the Lewis and Clark bicentennial. By 1981, the Jefferson nickel had already been in production for over 40 years with minimal changes. The U.S. economy in the early 1980s was facing inflation, affecting metal prices and leading to discussions about possible changes in coin compositions. However, the 5-cent coin continued to be struck in its traditional composition 75% copper and 25% nickel, as it had been since its introduction in 1938, except for the silver war nickels from 1942 to 1945. The 1981 Jefferson nickel was produced in massive numbers across 3 U.S. Mint facilities: Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, 657,594,000 coins; Denver Mint, D mint mark, 372,108,000 coins; San Francisco Mint, S mint mark, proof coins, 3,057,545 coins. Because of this high mintage, the 1981 nickel is not considered rare, though well-preserved examples, proof coins, and error varieties can be valuable. Today, we're diving into the history, design, and circulated value of the 1989 Jefferson nickel. Whether you're a coin collector or just curious about your spare change, stay tuned. The Jefferson nickel series has been in circulation since 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, this 5-cent coin features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. On the obverse. On the reverse, we have Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, along with the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one. The denomination 5 cents and United States of America are also inscribed. The 1989 Jefferson nickel is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, weighs 5 grams, and has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters. Unlike earlier war nickels, 1942 to 1945, it does not contain silver. 3 U.S. Mint facilities produced the 1989 Jefferson nickel: Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. Let's take a look at their mintage numbers. Now, let's talk about value. If you find a 1989 Jefferson nickel in your pocket change, is it worth anything? Most circulated 1989 P and 1989 D nickels are worth face value, 5 cents. If in better condition, almost uncirculated or about uncirculated, it may be worth 10 to 25 cents. If you want to find valuable 1989 Jefferson nickels, look for errors. Some known errors include: coins struck off-center can be worth $10 to $50 plus depending on the percentage of misalignment. Raised metal lines or blobs due to die wear can increase value, ranging from $5 to $30 if the Monticello steps are fully visible and not worn. These coins can sell for $50 to $100 plus in high grades. So, should you keep a 1989 Jefferson nickel? If it's in average circulated condition, it's mostly worth 5 cents. However, uncirculated coins, proofs, or error varieties can fetch higher prices. If you come across a full steps nickel, definitely hold on to it. That's all for today's video on the 1989 Jefferson nickel. Do you have any of these in your collection? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Yamara for more coin videos. See you in the next one.